It's time for a solid hour of Tea Party Power with Mark Galar.
Welcome to the Tea Party Power Hour. This is your host, Mark Galar. Today, my special guest is Michael Zullo. He is the lead investigator for Sheriff Arpaio's cold case posse. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark, how are you? Long time no talk.
It has been a while, and as far as how I am, I'm a little ticked off, to be honest with you, because I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but Colin Powell, former Republican Colin Powell, was being interviewed on ABC by Diane Sawyer and George Stephanopoulos, and he essentially said the Republican Party has spent the last 4 years spreading birther nonsense and doing things that demonize the president. And he is now, get this, calling on GOP leaders to denounce such talk publicly.
Well, I did hear that. And, I've been listening to Mr. Powell for a while now. And, I know he says that he's a conservative or that he's a Republican, but I really don't hear that in what he says. The whole idea of demonizing the president and calling on members of Congress now, or the Republican Party, the GOP leadership, to denounce that kind of talk, to me, is almost comical. As a matter of fact, it isn't the public that is doing anything to demonize anyone. It's been the story that's been set out by the administration. It's been the staunch opposition to any legitimate question. And then it's the production of a document that in our investigation, we have proven beyond probable cause that it is, in fact, a forgery. And that leads to the question as to why. Why would anyone need to make this? Why was this particular image, it's not even a document, it's an image, used to bolster the case about a birth in Hawaii? Those are simple questions. And as a matter of fact, it should be the public outraged at elected GOP officials, begging the question and the answer as to why aren't you answering our call to duty and look into this and give us the answers that we seek, because no one has done it yet.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to someone the other day who believes that Obama should be more transparent and release not just the birth certificate, but all these things that people are asking for. The microfilm of the Selective Service registration, the microfilm of the Social Security card application, as well as, of course, the microfilm of the original long-form birth certificate purportedly held at the Hawaiian Department of Health. And so she got on the phone, called her congressman, and when she was talking to the guy, one of the aides, she said, "Am I the only person who's ever called you on this?" And his response was kind of shocking. He said, "No, actually, we get at least one call an hour like this."
Is that a fact? I didn't.
Yeah. So they're getting one call an hour saying Obama needs to release his documents, and yet they do nothing. I think you're right, Mike. The public should be outraged. Now, one of the things that seems to be absent from any of Colin Powell's comments regarding the birth certificate, and by the way, he goes way back on this, when Obama released the long form birth certificate, or at least what he said was the long form, at whitehouse.gov, Colin Powell made some comment that he thought it was great that Barack Obama had shut Donald Trump up. I am not getting any refutation from Mr. Powell on the various anomalies that exist with the birth certificate, with the Selective Service card, with the Social Security card. He's basically doing a little demonizing himself. He's calling it all birther nonsense. I would say that, if Colin Powell wants everybody to shut up about this and he wants the Republican Party to denounce it, do you think maybe something a little more specific in his argument than it's all nonsense should be forthcoming?
Well, I do, and that's always the blanket objection to whatever is getting done here. Look, going back to the beginning of our intercession into this matter on behalf of Sheriff Arpaio and the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, we are not birthers. Mark, I don't even know what birther means. I mean, it's just a term that the media has come up with. Anybody who wants to question anything related to the early life of this individual is considered a birther. I mean, that is just nonsense. We're talking about a fraudulent document. We're talking about a document that has been created outside of the bounds of law, and it has been used and perpetrated in fraudulent representations to not only the people of Maricopa County, but to everyone in the state of Arizona and everyone in the state of the nation and around the world as proof positive. The president's own words, proof positive. I don't know what Mr. Powell's problem is, but I would have opened an invitation to him at my expense to come into Phoenix to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and I will sit down with him and show him the evidence that we have accumulated that bring us to the only conclusion, the only logical conclusion, the only factual conclusion that this document is manufactured. And if it's manufactured, the President of the United States at that point in time, I do believe, owes the American people an explanation. Tell us why, because it shouldn't be. It is as simple as that. It's violated numerous statutes in the state of Arizona, and it's violated federal statutes by not only its creation, but by its public display and the manner in which it was used. It is very simple. Now, Mr. Powell's a very smart guy. I'm sure if he came down here and saw what we have, he would come out with a different tune.